Yeah?
Yes, very well. Hari Bol. I think it's a little bit better. So, in this way, this beautiful meeting between Srila Param Gurudev and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was very, very beautiful. And at that time, when meeting with Gurudev for the first time, he made like a vow. Like today, we also made a vow, right? And from Gurudev, he made a vow of completely dedicating his life, everything, for the service of his Guru Maharaj, for the service of his most beloved Guru Padapata. So at the auspicious occasion of Gaur Purnima, he received Harinam as well, from his Gurudev. So in this way, we see how much service he was doing. We cannot actually imagine, isn't it? Also, one time there was a conversation between one of the aunties of Srila Param Gurudev with his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, he actually expressed his desire of, actually, I want to establish actually many, many temples. I want to establish mutts. One mutt in every island, and developing it further.
So many words all over the country.
All over the country. Everything. So, and the auntie was saying of Srila Param Gurudev was, Maharaj, there are not even enough brahmacharis to play the gong. What to speak of, developing so many mutts.
There's not even one person to do arati. And you're thinking having so many centers around India.
Exactly like that. So she was speaking like this with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And then Srila Prabhupada at that time, he made a very bold prediction, and he actually pointed towards Param Gurudev. He said, this boy, he will take care of everything. And that actually prediction came true. He actually became the superintendent of the Gaudiya Math, and actually of all the Math branches, especially with this beautiful occasion when Srila Bhakti Rakshak Goswami Maharaj, when he actually met Srila Param Gurudev the very first time. He was in brahmachari but in white cloth. Very, very senior. He was one of the most senior disciples, and he was resting with his feet up. And even sannyasis and brahmacharis and so many devotees would actually come and touch his feet. And he would just sit there and just, not give his pranam, but not standing up like that, So Srila Bhakti Rakshak Maharaj, when he was coming there, he was like, oh, who is this radiant, beautiful boy, laying down like that, and so many Maharajas and sannyasis paying obeisances to him. And then he said, oh, this is Vinod Baba? Vinod. So, and he said, yes, he's the caretaker and the superintendent of the math, and actually of all the premises of, the math. So we actually see how the prediction of, Jagadguru Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, how it actually came true, We also see what the astrologers, what they actually predicted, but also of Srila Prabhupada, his prediction became so much true. And in the end we see by His mercy, then actually so many things happen without any problem. So, growing up, we see that there was also a very beautiful meeting with Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, isn't it? After, I think, at that time, his Guru Maharaj already left this world, isn't it? No. Prabhupada, he was still present. And at that time, we know that Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, his bhajan was very austere, very, very austere. Eating only mud, and then even becoming blind, and saying that, oh, this world is actually lower than this latrine. I will lock myself here up, and I will just do my bhajan out of here. This is the best place, isn't it? It's difficult to comprehend, It is something similar to the bhajan sadhana Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And in this way, he actually locked himself up in the latrine, in the toilet, and there he was doing his bhajan and his sadhana. And actually so many where people actually came, personalities came to knock on the door, even like the police officer of the town, right? He'd knock on the door and say, oh, we have a very beautiful budget meeting for you. And please come out, please come out. I said, no. Actually, he didn't get any answer. Some other personalities also came, and then he opened the zip code. He said, oh, I'm too sick to open the door. But then one day, Srila Prabhupada came with, I'm not sure who Srila Prabhupada actually came. He came with his auntie, and he also came with one Maharaj, with the Maharaj. And they actually knocked on the door, and it's like, oh, we are disciples of our, Srila Prabhupada. And actually, when Srila Gaurakrishna Maharaj, when he heard this, he immediately opened the door and said, oh, you're a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Huh? You're the object of his music.
Srila Prabhupada sent and gave his darshan. And he said, someone very near to my Prabhu has sent you here. Babaji Maharaj addressed to Srila Prabhupada that you sent by someone who is very dear to my Prabhu, means Mahaprabhu. This shows how Babaji Maharaj also has so much love for Srila Prabhupada, addressing him as you are the Jan, you are very near and dear of my Prabhu. Babaji Maharaj told to Srila Param Gurudev, you go and preach fearlessly, and I will take care of all your obstacles in your preaching. Sri Param Gurudev became so delighted to hear this. Bhagavad, Sri Babaji Maharaj, who is always absorbed in that Vipralam Bhav, who is the embodiment of Vipralam Bhav, and always chanting the name of Radharani, moving here and there, he is, claiming this, that I will take care of all your obstacles. You don't worry, go and preach. Yes,
this was a very important blessing of Srila Babaji Maharaj. Like Maharaj said, I will take care of all your obstacles. And we can see it in so many, he was facing so many issues and so many problems, but they were actually solved, all by the blessing of Srila Babaji Maharaj. So, another point that I also wanted to touch is, in fact, when Srila Param Gurudev was, staying in mud, taking care of everything, how much he would actually give, his life for Srila Prabhupada. Coming actually from a wealthy background, from a wealthy family, he would actually even, collect outside. One time, Srila Param Gurudev carrying a small box with like one hole inside, complete enough for 1 paisa, and he was collecting so many from so many houses. At the end of the day, he was completely tired, taking rest beneath a tree. At that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was coming with the car, and he was seeing, I'm seeing a personality from a distance, who's resting there? And then actually he would get up the car and he would see, this is Vinod Brahmachari. And then he would remember that, this boy was actually is actually coming from a wealthy family. But how much he's serving his Gurudev, how much, he's willing to give his life for me. And then tears actually came on his face. Also one time, Param Gurudev gave the instruction, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada gave the instruction to Srila Param Gurudev, you should go back to your house, take care of your dealings, because they need you there. Your mom has sent, your mother actually has sent a letter. You should actually go. And that's what Param Gurudev actually did. He actually just stayed in the mud premises, locked himself up in a room and just chanting his Harinam. Hare Krishna, like that. And after they were passing by, Srila Prabhupada was asking for Srila Param Gurudev. And it appeared to be that the boy was still in the mud. He didn't leave the mud premises. So Srila Prabhupada became a little bit serious and angry and asking for the boy, Srila Brahmachari, come here, why have you not done? Why have you not gone home? I have given you my instruction. Another time, Srila Prabhupada said something beautiful. He said, now, after so many lifetimes, I have come to your lotus feet. As we know that this human life is very, very rare, isn't it? Nardeha matyam sulbham sudurvam guru kartam. Nardeha matyam sulbham Guru Kalpam Karna Dharam, isn't it? That this human life is very, very rare. So having attained this rare stage where I can actually serve you, I want to give you everything of mine. So therefore, he's shown that so much service he was doing that he was not willing actually to go home for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, pleasing him in fact. And Srila Prabhupada actually saw this, and again tears would actually come from his eyes, and he started to cry. So there's so many pastimes, and we can actually go and continue. And I think there are more and more devotees who are willing to glorify Srila Gurudev as well. So I won't touch all the pastimes. I'm just begging for Postal mercy to all the devotees to bless me and to bring me closer to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, all that values. Vanchakal Patimukya Kripa Sindhu
Gopal, come snap. Come here. Come. You heard so much from Gurudev. Chalo, ek the past time bolega. Aso. And we want to hear in Dutch from you. He said he wants first clapping and then he will come. पाँच मिनट कृपा होवे परम गुरुदेव कृपा होवे 5 मिनट स्नान रुस्त खान देखो एक पास टाइम बोलो Dutch speaker. No, अभ्यास हो गया क्यों असुविधा नहीं? This is our family. What is the problem? अच्छा English हिंदी बोले तो ओम गणपति विघ्नेश्वर कनंजनश्लाघा चक्षुर्जगनं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय कृष्णं श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनां सन्निधि नाम श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tirobhav, today is Disappearance Day. I mistakenly said Appearance Day. आज का जो दिन है हमारे परम गुरु जी श्री भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज जी का तिरुभाव तिथि है। तो परम गुरु जी की मैं तो ज़्यादा कुछ जानता नहीं हूँ, जो गुरु जी से सुना हुआ है और महाराज जी आगे से जो कुछ जानता है मैं बोलने की कोशिश करूँगा। एक टाइम नवद्वीप में नवद्वीप के जो पंडित और ब्राह्मण लोग थे जो हमारे बाबा जी को तो प्रभुपाद के अगेंस्ट में थे, जो लोग भी क्या कर रहे तो उसी टाइम वहाँ हमारे नवद्वीप की परिक्रमा चल रहे थे। तो उसी टाइम प्रभुपाद और परम गुरु जी ढेर सारे सब लोग सन्यासी लोग एक साथ में थे। तो उसी टाइम क्या हुआ, वहाँ के जो कुछ ब्राह्मण लोग थे प्रभुपाद के ऊपर आक्रमण किया। तो उसने उस टाइम क्या हुआ, हमारे भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज जी ने परम गुरु जी को कोई एक घर पे लेके गया कोई जगह पर। तो उसी में क्या किया, परम गुरु जी ने अपने बेस
परम प्रभुपाद को दे दिए और प्रभुपाद के देश जो अपने पहन लिए ना। तो और भी बात है, जो परम गुरुदेव उनकी जन्म स्थान है बांग्लादेश में। तो परम गुरु जी बचपन से बहुत सेवा करते थे, जो गांव की विलेज के सबके। और परम गुरु जी की जब जन्म हुए थे तब उनकी मम्मी उनको तेल लगाकर बाहर, जैसे कोई हमारे इंडिया में गांव में होते, जैसे बच्चे जब पैदा होते तब क्या करते हैं, बच्चे को तेल लगा के बाहर सान में देते हैं, जो बच्चे को अच्छा हेल्थ हो। तो उसी टाइम एक बहुत बड़ा एक चील बोलते हैं हमारा, एक चील आके परम गुरु जी को उठा के लेके चले गए ऊपर। तो उनकी जब मम्मी घर बाहर आके देखे तो बोला बच्चा देखा थे, चील ऊपर लेके चले गए। तो गांव वाले भागते भागते उनके पीछे गए, कब चील के नीचे गिराएंगे तो देखते। तो उसी टाइम क्या हुआ, वो चील ने क्या किया, वो एक बहुत बड़ा एक नदी ना तालाब था, उसमें क्या वो सुपारी का कुछ वो पानी में ठहर रहा था। तो चील ने क्या किया, उसके ऊपर छोड़ दिया। तो देखो परम गुरु जी का क्या लीला है। और परम गुरु जी हमारे सिला मैंने सुना था, जब सिला देवानंद गौरी मठ की कुछ लीला था, तो परम गुरु जी का एक टाइम से देवानंद गौरी मठ चलाने के लिए बहुत इधर उधर से बहुत कुछ तकलीफ हो रहा था, कैसे मंदिर की। उस टाइम तो इतना मंदिर तो ये नहीं था। एक टाइम क्या हुआ, परम गुरु जी बैठे थे देवानंद गौरी मठ पे। तो उस टाइम क्या हुआ, आज के ठाकुर जी को क्या सेवा लगेगा, उनके पास कुछ नहीं था। तो उस टाइम क्या हुआ, जब परम गुरु जी बैठे हुआ था तो भगवान की चिंता भावना कर रहे थे। तो चिंता भावना कर रहे थे कैसा क्या होगा। तो देखा परम गुरु जी के पास एक चील आके ऊपर से कुछ कपड़ा में एक कुछ मुद्रा कुछ दे के चले गए। तो उसी देखो तो उसी ने परम गुरु जी ने देखा, जो देखो भगवान कैसा है, कैसे पुण्य करते हैं।
गौर प्रेमानंदे।
एक्चुअली मैं महाराज जी के नर्वस हो गया था, इसलिए बोल नर्वस।
अच्छा, so what both Prabhu said, I just try to elaborate on this. We heard the glories of Param Gurudev, not an ordinary personality. Sapasha Swadham Sahavatari. Just like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he comes on this planet, he don't come alone. He comes with all his associates. Similarly, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who is associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came with his associates. And when this was revealed, when Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Shri Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj disappeared from this planet, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, in so much separation from his Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, lamenting so much and chanting day and night, he took a sankalpa of chanting 100 billion names and not eating at all. Something very like a Havishyan, only one time a day. Very severe austerity, but not practicing austerity, but spontaneous in separation from acharyas. Then one time Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his associates, with Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj and Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared over the scene. Srila Prabhupada paid obeisances And you see what Mahaprabhu told Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I have not sent you here for chanting. I have sent you for some other reason. So this shows how close is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Mahaprabhu personally sent him here for preaching and taking care of all conditioned souls. I send you for preaching. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, how can I preach? For preaching I need man and money. I don't have man, I don't have money. And Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I will send my own men and money to you. You just start preaching. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, when he started preaching, then so many great scholars, young boys, they came and joined Srila Prabhupada. Young ones. That's why in the conference, in glorification of Prabhupada, many of our Vaishnavas, they say, if we compare the contribution of the four prominent acharyas, Shri Ramanujacharya, Shri Madhvacharya, Shri Vishnu Swami, Shri Nimbaditya, if we compare their contribution with the comparison with Srila Prabhupada contribution is more high than other acharyas. Why it is so? It's a very bold statement, it's not that simple. Because Srila Prabhupada collected young boys and established that mission or fulfilled the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, entire globe. Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he is the one who did this. All other Vaishnavacharyas also preached, refuted the Mayavad, but not that extensively as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, with no man and no money. Few young boys, young age, teenagers, but they are not ordinary boys. They were not ordinary. They sent by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the beginning years of Srila Prabhupada started preaching, there was couple of names who joined Srila Prabhupada in the beginning. Shri Paramanand Prabhu, Shri Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, Narhari Seva Vikra Prabhu, and then my Guru Maharaj, Shri Pranavananda Brahmachari. Very few brahmacharis, the beginning. But Param Guru Dev joined before anyone else. Right hand of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, right hand. And Srila Prabhupada was so much confident on Param Guru Dev. We just heard from Prabhu saying, when the aunt of Param Guru Dev said, how are you going to manage? You saying there will be so many temples in future around the country. Who's going to manage those temples? And where are those temples? Srila Prabhupada said, he will maintain this. It will happen with him. He will maintain that. So much confident on Param Gurudev, who established the Manobhisht of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who established the Manobhisht of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What was the Manobhisht? Manobhisht means the inner desire of Mahaprabhu. What was the desire? To glorify Radharani, to attain the Dasya, means to become the maid servant of Radharani. That's the only mission. But then there were so many jungles. If we go into a beautiful garden, there are so many jungles to cut. So in India, there were so many philosophies, Mayavad philosophies, Brahmavadi philosophies, Yogi philosophies were so prominent that it was so difficult to preach Vaishnavism. Shri Madhvacharya ji also did same. Shri Ramanujacharya also did same. Cutting the arguments of Shankarvad, the followers of Shankaracharya. But Srila Prabhupada also, he cut this philosophy and said, Prithvi te dharma name joto katha chale, Bhagavad kahe paripurna chale. On the name of religion, all those philosophies which are prevailing in the entire world, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, those philosophies are chal, projit, kaitav. Kaitav means deceitful nature, deceitful propensity, cheating propensity. All those religions, even now at present, 99% philosophies is all cheating humanity. They are not saying what they are supposed to say. They are not speaking about bhakti. They are speaking about on the mental plane, bodily plane, mental plane, that's all. Not beyond that. But what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give, Swabhakti Shriyam, is what was that was the mission of Sri Prabhupada to establish. But in a very lamenting mood, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada said, I spent my whole life in cutting the jungles. I didn't got much time to establish what I want to establish, and for the reason I came. My time spent in just cutting the jungles. To just say, this is not bhakti, 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 this is not bhakti. I didn't got time to explain what is bhakti. No, my whole time. So there was many challenges at the time of Srila Prabhupada. So the son adopt the legacy of father. Shri Param Gurudev also, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, if you see both of them pictured, they look alike. Exactly same. Hai tall figure, same kind of figure, Param Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. But that's appearance. But the mood is also same. Shri Param Gurudev embraced the mood of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and very expert in refuting the arguments, the philosophies, which is against pure bhakti. Param Gurudev only explaining pure bhakti. So we just heard few pastimes from his birth, from very rich landlord family. Param Gurudev's father, he possessed so much, the whole complete village was under his name. So Param Gurudev was born with like silver spoon, born with a silver spoon. This is how we say. Very rich, jamindar, landlord. Very bright, very fulgent. The astrologers already predicted he's going to be a great acharya in the future. We all heard this. But important point in that time frame is what we just heard. There is, I will not mention name, there is one Prabhu. He said, I can't go against the order of my Gurudev. Because very often I say, disciples are of three categories: Kanishta, Madhyam and Uttam. And Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj also used to say this. Kanishta, disciple means one who don't understand exactly how to serve one's Gurudev. Because he's beginner. He don't know the mood of Gurudev. But he is very excited to serve. But he serves according to what his mood says, not according to what Gurudev mood says. So very beginner. But he thinks no one can serve like me. That's Kanishta. Madhyam is a disciple who serves Gurudev according to the mood of Gurudev. What my Gurudev likes, what he don't like. That's Madhyam. Means little more intelligent, a higher level than Kanishta. And how Madhyam learns this? By staying with Gurudev. By physically staying. And then trying to understand the dealings, the mood, and serve accordingly. Gurudev wants to drink cold water, but disciple, he drinking warm water all the time, and he insists his Gurudev also to drink warm water. Gurudev, warm water is better. Are Baba, for you is better, for me is cold, bring cold water. So Madhyam disciple, one who knows the mood of Gurudev and serve. And there is another category, Uttam disciple. One who goes against the order of Gurudev, to serve Gurudev. So disclaimer, don't practice this at home. You see many times some advertisements. A person is riding a bike and going hills, mountains, but they say don't practice this. Just only as an advertisement. So don't try to think we are Uttam, we are best disciple and I can go against the order of Gurudev. You get slapped. Or will commit offense. So don't try this. Uttam disciple is one who goes against the order of Gurudev. But there is so much condensed love, there is so much affection, that whatever he does is for the service of Gurudev, understanding the mood. Understand? And for this again one has to be, at least a minimum qualification is close proximity. And to understand what he wants, what he don't want. And how he wants me to serve. We have to understand this particularly. But then it has to be, first it comes with some distance, with formality. And then it comes with love and affection. And when it comes with love and affection, then there is no fear in serving him. Like, it is offensive to even sit on the bed of Gurudev. It's offensive. It's offensive to even step over the paduka, the shoes of Gurudev, or to the clothes of Gurudev. But when there's so much affection and love, that's the stage where there is no formalities left. That for massaging Gurudev, if it is need to sit on the bed to make a particular angle, there is no offense. Because the whole idea is to please him. It's offensive to sit on the seat of Gurudev. But if a disciple comes forward, to sit on the seat of Gurudev to check if the seat is comfortable, there's no offense. So many details in there. I'm just trying to explain the gravity of Param Gurudev's dealings and his service for his Prabhupada, his Guru Maharaj. That once upon a time, a letter came from the mother of Param Gurudev. My son, I am very sick. I may leave any day. I may leave any day. Please come. I want to see you before I leave my body. A telegram came to Param Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada heard this, and Srila Prabhupada gave order to Param Gurudev. Go and see your mother. She is leaving her body. There is no harm. Go and see your mother. Param Gurudev accepted this. But he kept himself hiding in one room, in one corner, and was chanting. But he didn't tell anyone, even Srila Prabhupada, that he's going to see his mother. He didn't went there. He stayed back in the temple. When Srila Prabhupada came to know this, he called upon Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, name of Param Gurudev. When Param Gurudev came, Srila Prabhupada said, I told you, I ordered you to go to see your mother. Param Gurudev said, yes, Prabhupada. But you didn't went there. Why? Srila Prabhupada has full confidence on Param Gurudev. Full confidence. Whatever he does cannot be wrong. Because he is whole soul 100% surrendered to me. His activity, his seva cannot be against me or against my order. That much faith Srila Prabhupada had on Param Gurudev. But he wanted to know for clarification of others, because there was some whispering that Param Gurudev, means Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, disobeyed the order of Prabhupada. So that's why Srila Prabhupada asked them. And Param Gurudev replied with the words, Sakale Janam Mata Pita Pai. Which means, he said, Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, every lifetime we get parents. Every life, in any species of life. We get parents. But to get spiritual master like yourself, Gurudev like yourself, is very rare opportunity. How can I leave this opportunity? How can I leave you to see my parents? Parents I got in all lifetimes. But it's so rare to get the service of one's Gurudev. And I don't want to lose that opportunity. This shows Param Gurudev's renunciation, but not only renunciation, this shows Param Gurudev's love for lotus feet of his Guru Pad Padma, his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. The doubt was clear for many, and they all appreciated Param Gurudev's disobeying Prabhupada's order. Externally it looks like disobeying, but internally it was so pleasing to the heart of Prabhupada. So these attempts, these kind of services, this kind of attempts, where externally it looks like disobeying, but internally satisfying to one's Gurudev. That's called Uttam Sevak, Uttam disciple. And what Gopal Prabhu just said, remarkable pastime in Param Gurudev's life history. Remarkable. Srila Prabhupada was